In 2021, Governor Abbott signed Senate Bill 1 into law to create statewide voting hours, maintain and expand voting access for registered voters needing assistance, prohibit drive-through voting, and authorize poll watchers to observe more aspects of the election process. It also banned distribution of unsolicited mail-in ballot applications and ballots and requires ID for mail-in ballots.
Texas constantly goes about the process of reviewing voter rolls to remove people who are not eligible to vote. And this account happens to be from the year of 2021. And so the size of more than 1 million people being removed is a pretty large amount.
We've seen a host of changes to the election code after the last several years that make voting more cumbersome as a process, but also make it more uncertain for people to figure out if they are eligible to vote or to determine what the criminal consequences are.
The same year, Governor Abbott also signed Senate Bill 1113 and House Bill 574 into law. Senate Bill 1113 allows the Secretary of State to withhold funds from the counties that fail to remove non-citizens from their voter roll. House Bill 574 made it a second-degree felony to knowingly count invalid votes or refuse to count valid votes.
Before the new laws I signed in September of 2021, we were reviewing non-citizens through jury pools and through other strategies. The laws that I signed in 2021 enhanced our capabilities of reviewing non-citizens who may be able to vote. With that new tool, we were able to identify even more.
More than 1.1 million voters have been purged from the voter rolls. 6,500 of those were non-citizens.
That obviously is a number higher than what we want to see. We want to see zero. I don't care what your color is, black, white, brown, Asian, whatever the case may be. I think everybody wants to see fair elections with the rules followed with no illegal voting.
The American Civil Liberties Union of Texas staff attorney Ashley Harris says the data provided by the state is flawed.
What this data tells us is only that the state, one, flagged someone as a potential non-citizen and then wasn't able to confirm their citizenship. We've seen in a broader context that Texas has a long history of incorrectly flagging people as potential non-citizens, both in 2019 and then subsequently in 2021, on which this data is largely based.
Governor Abbott says the numbers are accurate.
This actually requires Texas Department of Public Safety to do a matching to match people who may be applying for a driver's license or any other type of card to identify those who are non-citizens.
We're, as a result, encouraging people to check their voter registration status and make sure it's up to date, which they can do online through their county, and to register to vote by the deadline on October 7th.